Hello, everyone. Welcome to All Things Fantasy Football. I'm Richard Keck, and today I have a topic for you that applies to all three of the leagues that most of you are a part of. That is the DRF Dynasty League, the Crab Dynasty Football League, and the 12 Geniuses to Idiots Dynasty League. And today we're going to talk about the Taxi Squad. For those of you in the Crab Dynasty League, we started the Taxi Squad last year, and today will be year 2 of that. We've made an adjustment or two to that. We did the test format out on the Crab League so that we know how to maneuver it into the other 2 leagues. So today we're going to discuss the when, the why, and the where of the Taxi Squad, so that way we can get used to it, so you guys know how to use it. So first off is the why. Why do we need a Taxi Squad under this format? And what I was finding as the Crab League developed, and we had that 5-year plan for the rookies at each of the position, is that if a player didn't hit right off the get-go, what we would do would we'd hold them for a couple of years, and then we'd cut that player, and then we'd get them back in the auction draft without that 5-year salary attachment to them. So basically, you're finding a way to shortcut to kind of cheat the system a little bit, to be able to try to get that same player back without having to have them go up the exponential rate that the rookies under their rookie tiers are going up. You get them back for $1, and then they're only going up $1 every year because of the 10% increase. If I'm confusing anybody who doesn't know what's going on, the salaries for most players go up 10% every year. But anybody who was drafted in our rookie draft, they have a set tier by position. Running backs escalate a little quicker than the other ones because normally they hit right out of the gate compared to quarterbacks and sometimes tight ends. Tight ends take a while. Receivers sometimes take 2-3 years. So we have a tiered system for that first 5 year. But if a player doesn't hit for a couple of years, you cut them, you get them back, and now you kind of cheat that tier altogether. So we want to find a way to make it so that people kept those players, maybe hid them on a Taxi Squad. But you also had to make it beneficial as to why would you want to do that and still not cut them. And we're going to explain that. But the main purpose of that was to try to find a way to draft a player and then be able to hold them. If you drafted Aaron Rodgers, it wasn't until year 4 before Aaron Rodgers actually became Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't anything spectacular right off the gate. Same thing with like Antonio Brown. Go look at Antonio Brown's first 2 or 3 years. He wasn't anything special. Didn't do anything. He had a blip in like year 2 or 3 or something for a minute, but it wasn't until like that year 4 that became anything. You'd be awful mad if you drafted somebody. You drafted a player, you had him on your team, and then you cut him because you didn't want to be able to have to pay that higher 3 and 4 year salary. So having a Taxi Squad makes it so that you can have that guy, give it that time frame. Our Taxi Squads are going to be a 3-year time frame. So if they haven't hit by year 3, after 3 years, by that year 4, you have to make a decision. But the decision changes because now their salaries will freeze on there. So if you draft someone in a rookie draft this year, you throw him on your Taxi Squad, he doesn't move off that $1 price tag until you pull him up. Once he pulls him up, then he goes up from there. Once you pull a guy up from our Taxi Squad, he is permanently removed. You can no longer put him back on. So that's the why. The why is we want to be able to hold them players, be able to let them grow, because not everybody is going to jump right out of the gate. Not everybody's going to be that first year wonder that we want to have, a Justin Jefferson like last year. If you had Jalen Reagor, he didn't do as well. So you want to be able to hold them, put them on that squad. The specifics of the Taxi Squad are this. We started with 10 in the Crab League. We've come to realize that 10 players might have been a little high, at least out of the start. Maybe down the road we'll go back to 10. If guys are using it properly and it comes to the point where it's an issue, where you still feel like you have a bunch of players that you're cutting way sooner than you want to give them that chance. But right now we're cutting back to 6 as of 2022. We're giving everybody that year to kind of maneuver their rosters if you have 10. So we're going to go from 10 to 6 in the Crab. The other 2, the 12 Geniuses and the DRF, we're starting right off the gate with just 6. So you'll have 6 guys. For the 12 geniuses in DRF, anybody that was drafted last year, that maybe didn't boom that first year, or maybe they did, and you have a deep roster and you want to put them on there, you have 6 spots that you can use as a one-time, use the last year guys. From then on out, crab league especially, you can only put on rookies drafted in our rookie draft. Okay, so only rookies, barring that first year, that initial first year that you're throwing in the taxi squad. That first year, we can use some guys from the year before. Again, we'll have a date that they'll be finalized, that you have to put all those guys on. And then after that point, teams will no longer have access to the taxi squad as far as being able to move players up and down. What you'll have to do is have to contact the commissioners of the leagues, which is me, or in the DRF Paxi. So what you'll do is contact, say, hey, I'm going to pull up Jalen Rager off my taxi squad. I can go in, move him up, take off all the little notes that says he's taxi squad eligible, because he no longer is. And then now he becomes part of your active roster. The reason this has to be manual and not automatic for us is if I let everybody do it on their own, there's going to be too much people moving up and down, and it's going to be harder for me to pay attention to who's been pulled up, who's getting pulled back. And it's much easier if I give you a deadline and say, hey, put them on by this date, they're on. Those are the guys you got on. And then at anytime you want to pull them up, you say, hey, I'm pulling up Jalen Rager, I'm pulling up Michael Pittman from last year. You're pulling up even Trevor Lawrence that you put on initially this year. Once you pull them up, they're on your active roster, and now they're active. They can never go back on the taxi squad. So you make that decision who goes on, you make that decision who goes off. Hope I get that part clear. Again, for the Crab League, anybody who was drafted last year is not eligible now. We had our 1 year last year when we did the year before and allowed people to put on. This year, the only people eligible on the Crab League are the ones we drafted in our rookie draft. For the 12 geniuses in the DRF League, anybody is draft eligible from our rookie drafts this year, and anybody is eligible from last year's rookie draft. They had to have been drafted in the rookie draft. If you got them as a free agent, they're not eligible. Okay. And then I'll go in, once you got your guys on there, I'll go in there and put a little TS next to it. It says Taxi Squad -1. Taxi Squad 1 means that's their first year in the taxi squad. You get 3 years to hold a player there. So if you get a guy, let's say you're deep at quarterback. Let's take my DRF team, for instance. I have Trevor Lawrence, but I also have Russell Wilson and Murray. So I have Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. I can put Trevor Lawrence on my taxi squad, and I can leave him there for 3 years. Okay. And if I don't need him, if I don't have an injury, I can leave him there for 3 years, and then, give him a chance to develop and become a legitimate good starter. And then when time comes, by that time, maybe Russell Wilson's borderline retirement. He's probably got more than 3 years, but let's just say, for instance, he's going to retire. At that point, then I can pull him up, or I could pull him up next year if something were to happen to Russell Wilson or somebody got hurt. So that's what it's there for. You can stash that guy while they're on that taxi squad. They do not count against your salary cap. That is the benefit of the salary of the taxi squad. The benefit is that you don't count them against your active roster total, and you do not count towards your salary cap. So that they basically are on your team. It's a practice squad. They're not even part of your real team. The main reason to do it, obviously, was to keep people from cutting and cheating the system. So the good part for the league is that even though they're temporarily frozen and not on an active roster, or not on a don't count towards salary cap, is that when they do get pulled off, they still are going to escalate at that accelerated rate that we have set up for the league rules. Where the other way, people had a way to cheat the system, and they were, and I was, a lot of things I found out through this league, through trial and error, through, a lot of things we've done trial and error through the Crab League. And I was able to find out little loopholes and stuff, and then adjust accordingly. So most dynasty leagues have a taxi squad anyway. I was never going to do it just because I didn't know how we were going to maneuver it with all of our salaries and all that stuff. So I had to really work on a system for that. So again, it's manual. It's something where, like, once they're put on, they're locked up and you don't have access to them. And the only way you have access is to let me know that you want to pull a guy up, which is not hard. I mean, you can send me a message, even if I miss a message and you say, hey, I want to start Trevor Lawrence this week. I need him pulled up. As long as I have that in a message, I will start him. I will pull him up. I will put him in your lineup. So it's not hard to get that access to pull them up. And literally we did it in the crab last year. There was like 5 or 6 times maybe that someone pulled someone up. So it's not something that happens every single day. Once you have a guy there, you're going to kind of leave them there. They're kind of there to develop and to become the player that you want to be able to put in your starting lineup. Most of the time when people called them up, it was by force due to injuries, and they had to have somebody in there. So they called a guy up, kind of like a minor league system in baseball. Injuries happen, you call a guy up and you put him in the lineup. So it's there for all them purposes combined. So it's definitely something you can make use of. A couple of the problems that we saw with the crab league last year was because we had 10, we had a lot of players just kind of locking guys up that would have been starters. And to their credit, that's what it's kind of there for. And I think it'll wear itself out to the point where eventually you're not going to have those guys. Maybe the first year or the first couple of years, you're going to have maybe some people doing that stuff. But now that we're not going to go at 10, we're only going to cut it to 6, starting in 2022 for the crab league and the other 2 leagues as of this year. It'll work itself out. Almost every rule or everything we have changed over the course of these leagues has worked itself out. Okay, so it just takes a little time figuring things out. Anyways, so that's the thing about the Taxi Squad. If you have any questions about a Taxi Squad, definitely put it in our league chat on Messenger, and definitely feel free to answer those. I wanted to get a nice video out for you guys just to give you a rundown of how to use it, how to put things in, how you can call people up. Again, like I said, it's manual. As you go through your roster, it is manual. I'm going to put TS1, TS2, TS3 next to them players each year. So it's going to make things a little easier for you to follow when you pull up the rosters. You'll be able to see who's on the Taxi Squad, and you won't just be able to, when the part is open to be able to put them on, like when the rookies, you're not going to be able to just throw anybody on there, because I'm going to be able to see who already has the TS designation next to it. Crab league, it happened. A couple people will just kind of put some guys on there, and it doesn't work that way. You can't just free put whoever you want on there. It has to be someone drafted in the rookie draft. So it is guarded that way. So we shouldn't have too many mistakes, but it is manual. So it's something I got to do just to make sure that we can do it properly. So again, if you have any questions, put it in the Messenger chat and we can talk about it. That's all I got for you guys today. Be sure to follow the YouTube channel and like and comment anything you want to below, and I will talk to you guys later. Again, this video was posted for all 3 leagues: the DRF, the 12 Geniuses, 2 Idiots, and the Crab League. I guess there's going to be another league to follow, but for right now, it's just those 3. You guys have a good day. Thanks for listening.